The voicemail Jennifer left her sister was 23 seconds long. "Hey, we just landed. Atlanta is beautiful. Marcus is amazing. I'll call you tomorrow. Love you." Her voice was bright, hopeful, alive. That was March 15th. By March 22nd, the FBI was searching for their bodies. This is the story of how love became a weapon, how hope became a trap, how a mother's loneliness destroyed everything she was trying to protect. Would you recognize danger if it came wrapped in kindness? This is Crime Atlas. Thank you for joining us today. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. Jennifer Ross was 38 and drowning, 2 years divorced, working 70-hour weeks as a nursing assistant in Dayton, Ohio, trying to keep her 15-year-old daughter Kayla in a decent school district. Their apartment had mold in the bathroom. Their car needed new brakes they couldn't afford. At night, after Kayla fell asleep, Jennifer would scroll through social media and wonder if this was all her life would ever be. That's when Marcus appeared. A friend request from a stranger, handsome, well-dressed, his profile full of success, luxury cars, skyline views, inspirational quotes about second chances and deserving better. His first message was simple. "I know this is random, but I saw your profile and had to reach out. Your smile is incredible. How does someone like you end up hidden in Ohio?" Jennifer almost deleted it. Almost. But something in those words, "someone like you," made her pause. When was the last time anyone had seen her? Really seen her? She responded. Just a polite thank you. Marcus replied within minutes. They talked about life, dreams, struggles. He listened in a way Jennifer's ex-husband never had. He asked about Kayla. What were her interests, her grades, her personality? "You're raising her alone," he wrote. "That takes real strength. Most women would have given up." Can you remember the last time someone made you feel strong instead of broken? The conversation stretched from days to weeks to months. Marcus sent flowers to Jennifer's work. 24 roses with a card that read, "Because you deserve beauty." Her co-workers swooned. Jennifer felt like she was floating. He video called often, always from beautiful places. His penthouse overlooking downtown Atlanta, upscale restaurants, his real estate office. Everything about him screamed legitimate, successful, safe. He asked to meet Kayla on video chat, spoke to her with genuine interest about her art, her dreams of studying design. "Your mom is raising an incredible young woman," he told Kayla. "You're lucky to have each other." Kayla whispered to Jennifer later, "He seems nice, Mom. Really nice." At what point does nice become a mask too perfect to be real? For months in, Marcus made his move. "I want you to visit. Both of you. Let me show you what life could be like. 3 days in Atlanta. 5-star hotel. My treat. No pressure. Just let me spoil you both. You deserve it." Jennifer's sister Amanda warned her. "Jen, you don't really know this guy. Meeting someone from the internet with your daughter? That's not safe." But Jennifer had seen Marcus's business license. His LinkedIn with 500+ connections. His Instagram with 2 years of consistent posts. This wasn't some catfish in a basement. This was a successful man who wanted her. "Amanda, I've been careful my whole life," Jennifer said, her voice cracking. "I'm married safe. I play by the rules. And look where I am. Can I have one chance at something good?" When desperation meets opportunity, do we ignore warnings or do we call them jealousy? The plane tickets arrived by email. Delta Airlines, seat 12A and 12B, printed boarding passes. A real hotel confirmation at the Marriott Marquis downtown. Everything verifiable. Everything legitimate. March 15th, Jennifer and Kayla boarded the plane. Jennifer wore a new dress she'd bought on credit. Kayla clutched a sketchbook, nervous but excited. As they lifted off from Dayton, Jennifer squeezed her daughter's hand. "This is it, baby. This is where our lives change." She had no idea how right she was. Marcus met them at baggage claim. He looked exactly like his photos, 6'2", athletic build, expensive suit, 1,000-watt smile. He hugged Jennifer like they'd known each other for years. He shook Kayla's hand respectfully. "You're even prettier in person," he told her. "Not creepy. fatherly, appropriate. He drove a black Escalade, leather interior, not flashy but nice. He took them to the Marriott just like promised. The room was beautiful. 2 queen beds, a view of the city. Rest up, Marcus said. Tonight, I'm taking you somewhere special. Did your instincts whisper run, or did a perfection silence every alarm? Dinner was at a rooftop restaurant. Marcus ordered appetizers Jennifer had never heard of, told stories about his real estate investments, asked Kayla about her college plans. He paid in cash, hundreds peeling off a money clip. Jennifer felt like Cinderella at the ball. But around 9 p.m., Marcus's phone rang. His expression shifted. Stressed, apologetic. I'm so sorry. Emergency with the property. I have to handle this tonight. But I have an idea. He gestured to a woman sitting at the bar, gorgeous, professional-looking, mid-30s. That's Simone. She's my business partner. She knows Atlanta inside and out. Would you mind if she showed you around tomorrow while I handle business? Girls' day. Spa. Shopping. Whatever you want. My treat. Jennifer hesitated. This wasn't the plan. But Marcus looked so genuinely apologetic. I promise. Tomorrow night is all ours. Dinner. Just the 3 of us. No interruptions. Simone came over, warm and charming. She showed them pictures on her phone. The spa she'd take them to, the boutiques, the best brunch spot in the city. We'll have so much fun, she promised. Let Marcus handle his boring business stuff. Kayla shrugged. Could be fun, Mom. Jennifer agreed. What else could she do? 'Cause a scene? Seem paranoid? When does politeness become the weapon used against you? The next morning, Simone picked him up at 10 a.m. Not in an Escalade, in a Honda Odyssey minivan. More comfortable for shopping, she explained with a smile. She drove them through Atlanta, pointing out landmarks, making small talk. Then she turned into a residential neighborhood. Nice houses, quiet streets. Quick stop first, Simone said. Marcus wants you to see one of his investment properties. It just sold for way above asking. He's really proud of it. 5-minute tour, then spa time. The house was beautiful. Colonial style, wraparound porch. Perfectly landscaped. Simone unlocked the front door. Inside was stage furniture, soft lighting, that new construction smell. Gorgeous, right? Simone walked them through the living room into the kitchen. Marcus has an eye for value. Can I get you ladies something to drink? I have champagne in the fridge. The previous owners left it. Jennifer laughed. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's vacation, Simone countered with a wink. She poured 3 glasses, handed one to Jennifer, one to Kayla. To new beginnings. They clinked glasses. Jennifer sipped the champagne. It tasted expensive, crisp. Kayla took a small sip and made a face. Simone laughed. Not a fan? I've got Coke in the car. Be right back. Simone walked outside. Jennifer heard the front door lock. The sound of that deadbolt sliding into place is the last normal sound Jennifer remembers. Within 60 seconds, the room started spinning. Jennifer tried to stand and collapsed. Kayla was saying something, her voice distant and distorted. The champagne glass shattered on the tile floor. Jennifer reached for her daughter, but her arms wouldn't work. Her vision tunneled to black. How long does it take for your entire world to end? 60 seconds. 1 sip. 1 wrong decision. Jennifer woke in absolute darkness. Her head felt like it was splitting open. She was lying on something cold and hard. Concrete. No windows. No light. She tried to move and realized her wrist was zip-tied to a metal pipe along the wall. Long enough to move around, but not to reach the door. Kayla! Her voice came out as a rasp. Kayla, where are you? A whimper from somewhere to her left. Mom! Relief flooded through Jennifer so intensely she sobbed. Baby, are you okay? Are you hurt? I don't know. I can't see. Mom, where are we? What's happening? I don't know, baby. I don't know. They sat in that darkness for hours. Or maybe minutes. Time dissolved. Kayla cried. Jennifer tried to comfort her. Tried to find a way to free herself from the zip tie. Her wrist was bleeding from the effort when fluorescent lights suddenly flickered on, blinding after the darkness. A door opened. Marcus walked in. But he wasn't Marcus anymore. The warmth was gone from his face. His smile was gone. His eyes were flat, cold, businesslike. Behind him stood two men, both huge, both armed. When did you realize the person you loved never existed at all? Good. You're both awake, Marcus said. His voice was different too. Harder. No southern charm. Let me explain how this works. You're going to do exactly what I say when I say it. Jennifer, you'll entertain my associates. Kayla, you're going into a different pipeline. You're young, you're pretty, you're undamaged. That makes you very, very valuable. The words hit Jennifer like a freight train. No, Marcus, please. My name isn't Marcus. It's Darnell. And you walked right into this, Jennifer. You brought her to me. You handed me your daughter because you were lonely and desperate and stupid. Jennifer launched herself at him, screaming, the zip tie cutting deep into her wrist as she strained against it. One of the men stepped forward and backhanded her across the face. Pain exploded through her jaw. She tasted blood. Kayla was screaming, "Don't hurt her. Please don't hurt my mom." Darnell crouched down in front of Jennifer, his face inches from hers. You can make this easy or you can make this hard. But either way, this is your life now. You want to blame someone? Blame yourself. You did this. Remember that. How do you survive the moment you realize you destroyed your own child? For 8 days, Jennifer and Kayla were held in that basement. They were drugged, pills forced down their throats twice a day that left them foggy, compliant, unable to think clearly. They were photographed, documented, measured. Men came down to look at them like cattle at auction. Jennifer fought constantly at first, screaming, attacking anyone who came near. They beat her unconscious twice. The second time, when she woke up, Kayla was gone. Where is she? Jennifer shrieked at Simone, who'd come down with food. What did you do with my daughter? Simone looked at her with something almost like pity. She's being processed. It's easier if you're separated. Don't worry. She's valuable. They'll take good care of the merchandise. Merchandise. Her daughter was merchandise. Jennifer stopped eating, stopped responding. She existed in a state of catatonic horror, her mind fracturing under the weight of what she'd done. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Kayla's face on the airplane, excited and trusting. Every time she opened them, she saw this concrete prison and knew she walked them both into hell. On the 9th day, the FBI raided the house. The door exploded inward. Flashbangs, shouting, armed agents flooding the basement. Jennifer couldn't even process what was happening. Someone cut her zip tie. Someone wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. Someone kept saying, "You're safe now. You're safe." But Jennifer couldn't hear them over her own screaming. "My daughter. Where's my daughter? Please, you have to find my daughter." Can you imagine being rescued but still trapped in your worst nightmare? Special Agent Sarah Chun was the one who found Kayla. She was 3 houses down, in another property owned by the trafficking ring. She'd been kept separate, being prepared for international transport. When Chun carried her out, Kayla was catatonic, unresponsive, her eyes open but seeing nothing. At the hospital, Jennifer tried to hold her. Kayla's body went rigid. She didn't speak, didn't cry. She just stared at the ceiling like her soul had left her body. The doctor said it was trauma-induced dissociation. The psychiatrist said Kayla had retreated somewhere inside herself where the horror couldn't reach her. They said maybe, with years of therapy, she might come back. Jennifer sat beside her daughter's hospital bed, holding a hand that didn't squeeze back, and felt the full weight of her guilt crash down. She'd done this. Not Darnell, not Simone. Her. She'd ignored every warning. She'd prioritized her loneliness over her daughter's safety. She'd handed Kayla to a monster because she wanted to believe in love. The FBI investigation revealed the scope of the nightmare. Darnell Michaels ran a sophisticated trafficking operation that had been active for 6 years. He used social media to identify vulnerable single mothers, women who were lonely, financially struggling, emotionally desperate. He studied them for months, building elaborate personas, creating fake businesses, fake lives, fake love. Then he'd invite them to Atlanta. Always Atlanta, the busiest airport in the world. Easy to disappear people. His team would drug them, transport them, sort them. The mothers went to local buyers, strip clubs, escort services, private parties. The daughters went international, Mexico, Dubai, Thailand. Younger meant more valuable. Virgins meant premium prices. The FBI had been tracking Darnell for 18 months. They'd identified 17 other women he'd targeted. 13 had disappeared completely, for had been found dead. Jennifer and Kayla were numbers 18 and 19. But they were the ones who led to the raid, because Jennifer had made one smart decision in a sea of stupid ones. She'd told her sister the name of their hotel. When Amanda couldn't reach them after 2 days, she'd called the police. The FBI had flagged a missing persons report because the hotel was in a trafficking hot zone. They'd tracked credit card activity, cell phone pings, surveillance footage. They'd found the house, raided it, saved 6 women, and 4 children from that location alone. But Darnell wasn't there. He'd been tipped off. They never found out how and vanished. The FBI believed he was in Mexico, already setting up a new operation, already creating a new fake identity, already searching for his next victim. Agent Chun told Jennifer this 3 weeks after the rescue, in a sterile FBI conference room. We'll keep looking for him. But I need you to understand, men like Darnell don't stop. They adapt. He's probably online right now, talking to another lonely woman, promising her love. Jennifer stared at the case file in front of her. Photos of Darnell's operation, the other victims, the web of fake identities and shell companies and international contacts. How many? She whispered. We confirmed 47 victims over 6 years, but we think the number is much higher. Some disappear so completely, no one reports them missing. 47 lives destroyed. 47 women who'd made the same mistake Jennifer made. They believe someone who promised them hope. At what point does the world break you so completely you can't be put back together? The first major twist came during Jennifer's victim impact statement preparation. She was meeting with Chun, going over testimony, when the agent pulled out a new file. Jennifer, I need to tell you something. About how Darnell found you. Jennifer looked up. What do you mean? He sent me a friend request. Random, he said. Chun opened the file. Inside were Facebook messages, but not between Jennifer and Darnell. Between Jennifer's ex-husband, Brian, and an unknown number. Your ex-husband has a gambling problem. He's $127,000 in debt to some very dangerous people. Last November, those people offered him a deal, give them information about available women with daughters, and they forgive $50,000 of his debt. The words didn't make sense at first. Jennifer read the messages, Brian describing her loneliness, her financial struggles, her daughter, Kayla's age, appearance, personality, providing photos from his phone, giving them everything they needed to build the perfect trap. He sold us, Jennifer whispered. Brian sold us. To pay his gambling debt, Chun confirmed. He gave Darnell's network everything they needed to target you specifically. This wasn't random, Jennifer. You were hunted. The betrayal was so massive, so incomprehensible, Jennifer couldn't even process it. The man she'd married, the father of her child. He'd traded them like property to save himself. But Chun wasn't finished. Her expression was pained. There's more. Jennifer, we found Darnell's client list. The men who were bidding on Kayla. The international buyers. She turned the file page. Jennifer saw a name highlighted. Saw a photo. Her ex-husband's brother. Uncle Tim. The room tilted. Uncle Tim, who'd been at every birthday party. Who'd taught Kayla to ride a bike. Who'd come to Christmas dinner last year and hugged Kayla goodbye, telling her she was growing up so beautiful. He'd been on the network's client list for 3 years, Chun said quietly. He'd purchased 6 children during that time. When Kayla became available, he was the highest bidder. What do you do when you realize the monsters weren't strangers? They were family all along. Jennifer vomited right there in the conference room. She vomited until there was nothing left, until she was dry heaving, until Chun had to call for medical assistance. because the horror was too big to contain. Her ex-husband had sold them. His brother had bought them. This wasn't random evil. This was calculated. Familial betrayal so deep it shattered Jennifer's entire understanding of reality. Both men were arrested. Brian tried to claim he didn't know what the information would be used for. Uncle Tim tried to claim the FBI had the wrong person. But the evidence was overwhelming. The messages, the wire transfers, the dark web purchase history. Uncle Tim's home computer full of content. So while the forensics team needed therapy, Brian got 25 years for conspiracy to commit human trafficking. Uncle Tim got life without possibility of parole. At his sentencing, he looked at Jennifer and said, "I love that girl. I would have taken care of her." Jennifer lunged across the courtroom. Security had to physically restrain her as she screamed, "You don't get to say her name. You don't get to say you loved her." The judge allowed it. Let Jennifer scream herself hoarse. Because sometimes grief needs to be that loud. But even with both men in prison, Kayla didn't get better. She was transferred to a specialized trauma facility in Colorado. She didn't speak for 4 months. When she finally did, her first words were, "I want to die." She was 15 years old and wanted to die because the world had shown her that the people who were supposed to protect her had instead sold her to the highest bidder. Jennifer visited every week. She'd sit beside Kayla's bed and talk about nothing. The weather, a bird she saw, a book she was reading. Kayla rarely responded. Sometimes she'd hold Jennifer's hand. Most times she wouldn't. The psychiatrist told Jennifer that Kayla blamed her. Not consciously, perhaps, but somewhere deep in her trauma. Kayla knew that Jennifer had made the choice to go to Atlanta, had ignored the warnings, had trusted Darnell, had brought her into that nightmare. Can she forgive me? Jennifer asked. The psychiatrist was honest. I don't know. Forgiveness isn't a destination. It's a process that might never be complete. How do you live carrying guilt so heavy it crushes you with every breath? 8 months after the rescue, Kayla drew her first picture. The art therapist called Jennifer, excited. She's expressing herself. This is progress. Jennifer drove 3 hours to the facility. The therapist showed her the drawing. It was a stick figure. A little girl, holding hands with a bigger figure. A mother. They were walking toward a building that looked like an airplane. Both figures were smiling. Underneath, in shaky handwriting, Kayla had written, "Before." Jennifer broke down, because before was gone forever. That happy little girl holding her mother's hand, excited for an adventure. She died in that basement in Atlanta. She'd been murdered by hope and love and trust. Kayla drew more after that. Dark, violent images. A girl in chains. A girl behind bars. A girl drowning in black water. Her therapist said it was good. She was processing, externalizing the trauma, giving it form outside herself. But then Kayla drew something different. 2 figures again. A mother and daughter. But they weren't holding hands. There was a gap between them. A physical space. An impossible distance. Underneath, she wrote, "I know you were lonely, Mom. I know you wanted to be loved. I know you didn't mean for this to happen. But you chose him over my safety, and I can't forgive that. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I love you, but I can't be near you. Because every time I see your face, I remember that you brought me there." The therapist gave Jennifer the drawing during a session. She wanted you to have this. She's not ready to say it to you yet, but she needs you to know. Jennifer held that piece of paper and felt the last part of her heart break. Because Kayla was right. Every word was true. Jennifer had been lonely, had wanted love, had ignored every red flag because she was desperate for someone to choose her. And in doing so, she'd unchosen her daughter. What's the price of love when you realize you traded your child's soul for a stranger's lie? The trial against Darnell's network took 2 years. 47 victims testified. Jennifer was one of them. She stood in that courtroom and told her story. Every humiliating detail, every stupid decision, every moment she ignored her gut because she wanted to believe. The defense attorney tried to paint her as a willing participant. You traveled to meet a stranger. You brought your minor daughter. You accepted gifts, hotel rooms, expensive dinners. At what point, Ms. Ross, did you truly believe this was innocent? Jennifer looked at him. Every point. Because I was lonely, and loneliness makes you stupid. Because I wanted to believe someone could love me. Because he did everything right. The business license, the LinkedIn, the verifiable details. Because I thought I was being careful. Because I thought I deserved one good thing after years of struggling. Because I was human, and he weaponized my humanity. The courtroom was silent. And if I could go back, Jennifer continued, her voice breaking, I would choose loneliness. I would choose struggling. I would choose every hard, terrible thing in my life before Atlanta. Because nothing was worth what happened to my daughter. 17 defendants were convicted. The network was dismantled, but Darnell was never found. He's still out there, somewhere, probably running a new operation under a new name. The FBI estimates that human trafficking networks in the United States generate $150 billion annually, that an estimated 50,000 people are trafficked into the U.S. every year, that the average age of entry into trafficking is 12 to 14 years old. Darnell's operation was one network in one city. There are thousands more. After the trial, Agent Chen stayed in touch with Jennifer. They met for coffee once a month, an unusual relationship between agent and victim. But Chen said she needed it too. This job breaks you, she admitted, seeing what people do to each other. But watching survivors like you fight to stay alive, that's what keeps me going. I don't feel like a survivor, Jennifer said. I feel like a ghost. You're here. You're breathing. That's surviving. Healing comes later. Maybe. Jennifer moved to Colorado to be near Kayla's facility. She got a job at a grocery store, started therapy, joined a support group for trafficking victims. She learned that she wasn't alone, that thousands of women had similar stories. Met online, promised love, trafficked. Some had been recovered. Most hadn't. She learned that sex trafficking isn't always strangers in vans kidnapping women off the street. It's often someone you trust. A boyfriend who slowly isolates you. A friend who offers you a modeling opportunity. A family member who sells you to pay debts. A lover who promises you everything and delivers you into hell. She learned that victims blame themselves. Obsessively, even when logic says they shouldn't. Even when everyone tells them it wasn't their fault, they carry the guilt like a stone in their chest. Jennifer carries hers every day. She wakes up with it, goes to sleep with it. It's there when she visits Kayla, when she sits in group therapy, when she grocery shops and sees mothers with teenage daughters and wants to scream at them to hold tight, to never let go, to never trust anyone who seems too good to be true. Can guilt ever be forgiven? Or is it the life sentence survivors carry after the physical chains are broken? 3 years after Atlanta, Kayla was released from the facility. Not healed, the psychiatrist was clear about that, but stable enough for outpatient care. She moved into a group home for trafficking survivors. She didn't want to live with Jennifer. She wasn't ready, but she agreed to monthly dinners. Supervised at first, then gradually unsupervised. They'd meet at a restaurant. Always public, always Kayla's choice, and eat in awkward silence punctuated by small talk. During one dinner, Kayla said, I'm going to testify for the documentary. The FBI had commissioned a documentary about trafficking, using real survivor stories. Are you sure? Jennifer asked. Someone needs to warn other girls, other mothers. Kayla's voice was flat, emotionless. Someone needs to tell them that the danger doesn't always look like danger. Sometimes it looks like hope. The documentary aired on Netflix 6 months later. Kayla's segment was 11 minutes long. She spoke directly to the camera, no emotion in her voice, recounting what had happened. At the end, she said, My mom didn't mean to hurt me. She was just lonely. But loneliness doesn't excuse bad decisions. And love, real love, means protecting people, even from yourself, especially from yourself. If you're a parent and someone online seems too perfect, too interested, too generous, run. Because my mom didn't run. She flew to Atlanta. And I'll never be the same. The documentary went viral. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. Jennifer read them all, masochistically, seeing herself reflected back. How could she be so stupid? What kind of mother brings her daughter to meet an internet stranger? She deserves to suffer. But some comments were different. This could have been me. I almost did exactly this. Thank God I saw this before I made the same mistake. Those comments kept Jennifer alive. Because maybe, just maybe, Kayla's suffering could prevent someone else's. Is there redemption in warning others? Or is it just another layer of grief? For years after Atlanta, Jennifer and Kayla stood together at a trafficking awareness rally. They didn't hold hands. They still couldn't do that. But they stood side by side. Jennifer spoke about the grooming process. Kayla spoke about recovery. Together, they held up a banner that read, "Love shouldn't require you to ignore your instincts." After the rally, they went to dinner. Kayla ordered pasta. Jennifer ordered soup. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. Then Kayla said, "I'm thinking about going to college, art therapy, so I can help other survivors." Jennifer's throat tightened. "That's beautiful, baby." "Don't call me baby," Kayla said, but her voice wasn't cruel, just firm. "I'm not that person anymore." "I know. I'm sorry." They finished eating. When the check came, Kayla reached for it, but Jennifer stopped her. "Let me, please." Kayla hesitated, then nodded. A small gesture, a tiny allowance, progress measured in millimeters. Outside the restaurant, they stood in the parking lot. The sun was setting, painting the sky in oranges and pinks. Kayla looked at it, then at Jennifer. "I don't forgive you yet," she said. "I don't know if I ever will, but I'm trying to understand that you are human, that you made a mistake, that you've suffered too." Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. "I would trade places with you in a heartbeat." "I know, but you can't. So we just have to live with what is." Kayla took a breath. "I'm going to hug you now, because I think I need to, but don't read too much into it." She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around Jennifer. It was stiff, awkward, brief, but it was real, the first hug in 4 years. When Kayla pulled back, she said, "I'll call you next week, about college stuff, if you want." "I want," Jennifer whispered. "Always." Kayla walked her car. Jennifer watched her drive away. And for the first time since Atlanta, she felt something other than guilt. Not hope. She couldn't quite name it yet, but something lighter than despair. A possibility that maybe, someday, they'd find a way to exist in the same world without drowning in the past. But that night, Jennifer went home to her empty apartment and screamed into a pillow until her voice gave out. Because the truth is, healing isn't linear. Forgiveness isn't guaranteed. And some wounds never fully close. They just become part of who you are. She pulled out her phone and opened Facebook. Her account was deactivated. Had been since Atlanta, but she could still browse. And there, in the suggested friends, she saw them. Women with profile pictures of themselves and their daughters. Women whose bios mentioned being single mothers, being strong, being survivors. Women who were exactly who she'd been 4 years ago. Jennifer wanted to message them all, to scream at them to be careful, to tell them that monsters don't look like monsters. They look like hope, like rescue, like love. But she couldn't, because the truth is, she wouldn't have listened either. No one thinks it'll happen to them. No one believes they'll be the one who falls for it. Until they are. The last scene of the documentary shows Jennifer and Kayla standing in the same airport where they'd landed in Atlanta 4 years earlier. They're not flying anywhere. They're just standing there, reclaiming a space that was stolen from them. Jennifer says to the camera, "We walked through these doors excited for a new beginning. We had no idea we were walking into an ending we'd never escape. But we're here now, still breathing, still fighting, still trying to find a way to forgive ourselves for being human." Kayla adds, "My mom made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but Darnell made a choice. Uncle Tim made a choice. My father made a choice. They chose to be predators. My mom chose to be hopeful. There's a difference. I'm still learning to see that difference." The screen fades to black. White text appears. Darnell Michaels has never been apprehended. He is believed to be operating under a new identity. If you have information about trafficking networks, please contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. Remember, if someone online seems too perfect, they probably are. Trust is earned over time, not bought with promises. Your loneliness is not a weakness, but it can be weaponized. Protect yourself. Protect your children. Because sometimes love is a trap. The documentary ends with one final statistic. Every year in the United States, approximately 300,000 children are at risk of being trafficked. The average age is 12 to 14. And in 67% of cases, the trafficker is someone the victim knows. Jennifer and Kayla's story isn't unique. It's a pattern repeated thousands of times across the country, across the world. Women who are lonely, men who promise love, children who paid the price. The question isn't whether it could happen. The question is, are you willing to recognize the warning signs before it's too late? Because Jennifer thought she was being careful. She thought she was giving her daughter a better life. She thought she deserved one chance at happiness. She was wrong, and her daughter will carry those scars forever. But maybe, just maybe, someone reading this will see themselves in Jennifer's story, will hear the warning, will choose caution over hope, will protect their child instead of chasing love. And maybe that's the only redemption possible in a tragedy this deep, that other mothers and daughters won't board the plane to Atlanta, won't walk into the beautiful house with champagne waiting, won't wake up in darkness and realize too late that love was never love at all. It was bait, and they took it. The final question, if someone promised you everything you've ever wanted, would you have the strength to say no? Or would you, like Jennifer, believe that this time, this one time, the fairy tale could be real? Think carefully before you answer, because Jennifer thought the same thing, and she'll never forgive herself for being wrong. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications.